When you play this beautiful subject, it has a rolling effect because it's a scale in the beginning, right? It's rolling. So I don't think you want to digitize it so much, that's a new word, as much as roll into these first 4 notes. Yeah, now the rest is very important. Wait, the rest is very important to the subject because if you just start like anywhere, I don't understand that there was a rest, da, ya, ya. So I really want to go, where's the rest? Rest, da, look what I'm doing. It's a rolling motion. Roll into that, there's the subject right there. Now I'm interested in how you phrase that subject. Okay, so that's very important. How you execute that subject, it's going to be how you phrase it all through the piece, whether each hand, one hand or another has it. Rest, less. Right? You don't want to fall down hard on that because what was happening a lot is you were falling down on 16th notes that followed long streams of notes. So rest. Yeah, there's no staccato here though. I'm being very fussy. Watch. But you don't have to release the note in a crisp way. You can do tenuto, right? What does tenuto mean? Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and remember, I would taper off that D. That's the end of the subject. Ti, do, re, ti, do, re. And then you're going to start again. Da, e. And this is deeper. Why? It's a sequence higher. So you'll be a little deeper in the keys there, in my opinion. Okay? Later, tenuto. Now we're doing the inversion of the subject, right? Now how are you going to phrase that? Show me how you phrase that. Okay, that's what was happening a lot that I put a little check mark. See, the very last note, again, is a taper down. Because if we sang it...
So it's not a full lift.
Well, we are going to lift, but very slightly. But you have to sing it. Do I mean, you have to breathe there. The singer has to lift. That's why you're lifting there. But you don't want to gasp. There's a difference between a gasp and just a little bit of a slight lift. You know what I'm doing? Right? I'm lifting that last note in my mind. Right? These are sequences down. Okay, so now we have to discuss, right. We have to discuss how you're going to make the diminuendo down for each sequence. It's going to get less and less, which you're still shaping them the same way, but they're going to be lighter as you go down, right? So here. Look, I went all the way.
Start where?
Rest. Oh, look what I'm doing. What am I doing? So we gotta go that slow. Now here you were pretty soft, right? That was a big build up there, right? So what's happening? Stay with the legato. Yeah, the G goes to connect to, G goes to connect to finish the phrase.
It's all slur, right?
Yeah, slur. Yeah, so there's a little rotation. See what I'm doing? I'm going this way, and then I'm rolling this way.
You have to watch.
Watch the lift. Right. Now, what do you have coming up here in measure 7 in terms of structure?
I have an inversion. Do I have an inversion?
Actually, it's actually the same direction of. It's actually just a piece of the subject. Yeah, he just goes right. It's an abridgment of the subject, right? You still want to get that rolling motion that we talked about, because however you executed the subject in terms of phrasing is going to keep coming back. Now roll into da da dee da, roll into da da dee da, and then sequence. Going up a step. Right, make it rolling. Da, version of the subject going upside
subject,
down. Coming down 4 notes instead of going up 4, then he's going skip up, step down, skip up, step down. Now what key are we in? Did we go to another key? At the point that he added the C sharp, he modulating to
D minor?
D minor, right.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a little bit more sad. And now what does this represent when you hear these longer notes? What does that represent in terms of the subject? Is it resembling the subject in terms of stepping up 4 notes and steps? Yeah, because in the beginning he did this, right? Only he did it. Now he's doing longer notes of steps, so we call that augmentation. So augmentation means you take the same idea, but you're stretching out the notes, so they're longer, right? C sharp must be a surprise. You have to do something that tweaks my ears. C major. No, that's okay. But what about this one? The next one. Okay, that's an interesting idea. You definitely perked my ears. Yeah, I tend to get a little softer on that C sharp. Yeah, there's different things you could do, but you certainly want to put up a little alert sign to the listener that this is a wonderful. Yeah, that's fine. That was very good. You made me aware that C sharp was not expected, right? Okay, good. Okay, now let's hear the augmentation of the notes. Now C sharp, D, E, F. Now you could do that. I noticed you did this. Okay, now does that sound the same as?
No, of course not.
So you have to make an aesthetic, artistic decision. Right, that's so much better. Right, you're rolling in 4, and you're rolling like a beginning of a scale, right? How do you get the crescendo, dead weight? Right, that's a new key there. What key are we in there? F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C, D. Yeah, so that's what? Is that a melodic? You know the melodic minor, right? Are you familiar with that? That looks like a minor melodic starting on note number 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, of the scale. Because in melodic we raise the 6th note, we raise the 7th. That comes out of A minor melodic. We say la, ti, do, re, mi, fa. I use a lot of solfege. Right, so that creates tension because he's raising those notes up. Melodic minor has a lot of intensity with this. That's so beautiful. So you got to decide, where am I putting my intensity? It's not here yet. Because he's adding another note, right? And a long arrival on the D. So when you practice, you have to be artistically involved musically involved in what you're doing, right? You have to know the notes, you have to know the fingering, but you have to phrase it. Okay, I want you to go back to measure 9 on this. Look how slow. This is a soft part. 1 and 2 and 3. Surprise me. Some more intensively. Tie. Now, continue. Still melodic minor. But you know what? Make the crescendo. Crescendo here. Coming here. It's coming here now. Stay with it. You need to make some breaks with the phrases like they have in the music. We should have the same edition. So what is the break? This is do.
The break is on the F.
Right. Here it is. It's all very big. It's all very big. It's climax. The peak note is that A, and then it stays with the forte there.
So
right?
this is a climax of the piece.
Absolutely. And also, yeah, because the left hand converges with the right in the same rhythm too, right? The first time. Other times they're like, being like cajoling each other. They're like overlapping and imitating, but now, boom, they're together. It's a beautiful place. How do you get the big sound? You get you're like you do a push-up off the key that you're just dead weight, right? Press all those notes. We want to be dead weighted in and just like transfer weight. It's a big cadence. Yeah, it's a big cadence. Yeah, so you can't peter out too much. I mean, you taper slightly, but you still want that big sound all the way through that climax to its final cadence there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you have some fingering issues, what do you do? Do you do any rhythm practice, like da 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 da?
I don't do that often enough. I just go back and I refinger it. To make
The other
sure
thing I do is I do a lot of blocking. Let's say I do this, because that you were somehow not remembering that spacing there, right? The perfect fourth. And then 4-1 I block. Then what happens? Then 4-2 go over the thumb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I block that because that's what's going to play out. So I'm blocking sort of pairs of notes. Good. And then the next one I would block would be probably 1-5.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest is easy because you're just coming down the scale in steps. Yeah. Because somehow you got glitched up. You got glitched up in that little area there. So that blocking, good blocking is very good for you to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that. And you can see what I'm doing. Da, 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 bum, bum, and then just, right? It's just, see what I'm doing? Why am I doing that? Because I'm coming straight down. I do this all the time. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Now, continue. What happens now structurally in measure 15? Is it inversion of the subject? It is, because he's coming down 4 notes instead of going up 4 notes, and he's going skip up, step down, skip up, step down. Yeah, how are you going to shape that? Because we don't want it to digitize sound, because it's very easy to do this. But what does it really want to do? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, a little 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1, right? For our tempo, that's exactly what happens. So 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1. Yeah, so it's a little bit poked out. Yeah, so here's what he's doing. He's alternating the inversion of the subject with the right side up version of the subject. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have to kind of transmit that to the listener. And the way you execute it, remember you went, and then you did the upside down over the first page. So you got to think of how did I do it? Upside down. Relate them. You know what? They're talking back and forth to each other. So I have to get the distinct idea that there are 2 people involved that are conversing, not that they have the same voice. You know what I mean? With the same shape. And 4 and soft. Yeah, soft. Yeah. Let's say we do that.
Piano 4.
Yeah, let's do it that way. Actually, I have that in my music as well. But it makes sense. Okay, so let's do that. 3 and 4 and 1. Lift. Lift each time. And 4 and lift. 3 and 4 and 1. Lift. Good. Sounds much smoother. And 4 and 1. Now we're coming all to going forward. Yeah, but make breaks. Make breaks. Watch. Wait, make breaks because they're little groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the subject, you're going back to your subject. And that's your P, right? Sequence is up, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, today we've gone way too fast in the tempo, but that's all right. When you go home, I want you to do everything much slower. Yeah, don't go like that. You want Mo, stay with it. Stay with it. Right, because now you can't peter out. It's all forward to the C major to the end, right? We're back in the home key forever and ever, and it's big.